The way men's problems are supposed to be solved by everybody except the very people who are responsible for them. Like this lonely male crisis is supposed to be solved by women. We're supposed to date them even though we're terrified of them because the poor guys, they can't, they have 2,000 swipes to get a coffee date. Fork you, Scott Galloway, and your dumb hack science, you grifter. Anyway, now women and the daughters and all the children of men are supposed to teach them how to be fathers, how to get your dad to talk to you. This is where we're at. Can we just and here's the thing. Men could solve this problem themselves, but they won't. And I don't know, we're just supposed to just accept that they won't. So we have to solve this problem. This whole article is dedicated to how to get your father to give a crap about you enough to engage with you. Now, I know there was a whole generation called the silent generation. We got boomers. We have a lot of men who don't know how to talk, okay? And that is patriarchy. Patriarchy is behind that, right? And a lot of men won't figure out how to connect with people, and then they're watching porn and all kinds of stuff, or they just are playing, they're gambling, they're watching football, they're doing anything but literally building connections with the very people they created. Okay, so this is a lot of them, they learned this from their dads who learned it from their dads who learned it from their dads, blah 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 blah. But just because they were taught this doesn't mean it's not on them to fix it. And I, as somebody who had a very difficult, complicated relationship with my dad, and then towards the end, I made peace with him, and I actually am really glad that I got to, that I made peace with him. Okay, I still hold him accountable for a bunch of all the crap that he did, but I stopped expecting things he was not going to give me. I stopped putting myself in a position to be harmed by, this or that or whatever, and literally just figured out how to have a relationship with him that was like good enough. But you know what I did not do is all this stuff this article is suggesting that the children of fathers like this should do, to just force a connection with this man, because he's not going to do it. It's on you. I'm not saying this is bad advice. I'm going to go over this article now. Some of it's good. We're going to go over it. But I wanted to frame it to be very clear that even if you do some of this, you don't have to. You really don't. And if your only motive for doing all this work to get your dad to talk to you is because you feel bad for him, please stop. They don't feel bad about not parenting you or being there for you, So make sure that it's something you truly want and not out of like really codependent reasons because, he's a lonely old man. He's got no one else. So I will waste every Sunday of my life going and sitting next to him so that he doesn't feel alone, even though that time could be spent with people who actually see me and make me feel seen and appreciated and loved, right? I'm not ever going to be like, cut them all off. All right. Life is not that simple. And any solutions that people give you that are that cut and dry and don't have any nuance and context and aren't personal to you, then I, don't really think that's the best idea, the best advice. But I want women, as our job in terms of unforking our brain from patriarchy and decentering men. Oh my God, Mose is eating so loud right now. I don't know if y'all can even hear me. Yeah. Okay. I hope that was good. It is hot as fork here, and this is what you do in the summer in France because no one has air conditioning. You are in a cave all summer. This is not a choice. This is literally so I don't cook. I want women to really reframe things and center what is best for you, okay? Because we're so used to self-abandoning to make dad or husband or boyfriend or brother or guy friend or whoever, son, to not have to experience the consequences of their very consistent decisions. They're bad decisions. They're lazy decisions because all that time that dad could have been parenting you and talking to you and asking you about it, he was watching TV. He's just literally doing anything but being with you. So it is not on you to try to keep pushing for a connection that he's not interested in. If he's interested in it, maybe. If it's that important to you, it is not on you. And what it ends up happening is if you keep trying and this man doesn't care, you are going to lose respect for yourself. You know? You are. So I made peace in a way that no longer felt like self-abandonment, but also I didn't want to have any regrets. And I have none in terms of my relationship with my dad. However, some people don't even have that option. It's just not safe. So just to get that out of the way. Now, while right out of the gate, she's acknowledging, some men were taught that love is presence, not paragraphs. And that still counts. That, yeah, there are a lot of men who show up consistently, but they're quiet. If you had the kind of dad who showed up consistently, always fixed your stuff, made sure you were safe, did love through action, then that's different. That might be absolutely worth it because, they don't have the skills, but you knew that there was sacrifice on his and thought and care and love behind those other things, and talking may just be the only thing he's not good at. If that's the case, sure, take this advice. But a lot of us literally, they were silent, didn't do anything, but they also just literally couldn't be bothered. Yes, they paid child support. Yes, they did this. They sent the card, whatever. But as somebody, and people know what I'm talking about because I've mentioned this many times. If you literally watched hundreds of hours of football or fill in the blank or spent hundreds or thousands of hours in such and such place and doing such and such activity that you really didn't have interest in, but you became interested in it in order to spend time with your dad. And daughters will do this, sons will do this, regardless of gender. Kids will do this because the dad is so selfish and so self-centered that, if you want to spend time with him, you have to do what he wants to do. If that's the kind of dad that you are dealing with, and then he also doesn't talk to you, but also doesn't show up for anything other than literally just paying bills, I would question this advice of just trying to push for a connection with dad. I mean, we all got bills to pay. There's so much going on. I'm not sure if it's going to be healing for you. It may actually re-traumatize you or reinforce a yearning that will never be healed. So please figure out if you tried, and look, as much as we are decenter men and all that stuff on this page, they are human beings. And these are relationships. No matter how many women who follow me are like 4B, it is natural to want to have a partner. So for a lot of cishet women who follow me, it's like they don't want to mess with men. They don't want to deal with men. They don't want to be traumatized by men. They understand. But at the same time, I will never tell y'all, don't ever date. Why would I say that? I'm never going to tell you, you have to cut off your parents or blah, blah, blah. I'm not, you know what I mean? Wanting a connection with people in your life is human. I want people to consider, what the hell? Why are there articles like this that are putting the onus on everybody but fathers to change? The better article could have been, do you want a connection with your children but don't know how to talk to them? That's what I would love to see. But instead it's this, because of course it is. Because again, men's loneliness, men's refusal to take care of themselves, not inability, but refusal to take care, all of their problems fall on everyone that they systemically have power over, which is women, their children, or whatever. So the same thing, if you're married to a man and you're unpacking patriarchy, but he's not the least bit interested in it, good luck. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to say fair play and all those books are stupid. They don't work. When the real problem is you're with a man who doesn't appreciate you enough to do the work to unpack this with you, who will make no effort or will do it for a while and then abandon it. There's a difference there. Same thing goes with dad. But this is a little pat on the knee. This level of, this is the saddest article, y'all. That's all I needed was a little pat on the knee. We're talking even when we're not speaking. Sure, is he showing up in all other ways? If not, then anyway, she goes on to say, still, even though the pat on the knee and the little pat on the back I mean, it speaks volumes, but still, it'd be nice to hear, actual word. Y'all, the bar isn't hell for dads. It's not just in the dating world. The bar for men doing literally anything that is reasonably expected from them is so low that we're supposed to be grateful if our dads paid child support and didn't beat us. And like, it's a really good dad if he actually talks to you at all. This is why I wish men would get on board with feminism. This is where y'all are at. Don't you think you deserve better? Don't you want to be regarded differently? Is this learned helplessness really worth? Is the power that comes with the learned helplessness and the laziness is it really worth it? Because I'm pretty sure you miss love. Y'all miss love by refusing to engage and sew the social fabric of relationships. Y'all miss out on love of other people and yourselves. But okay, sure, daughter's got to fix it. I say daughter because this was written for daughters. Sure, some sons, because of course, everybody wants their dad to love them, okay? But I know that a lot of sons, especially because of patriarchy, they're really messed up because that's why all these psychopaths running the world right now all have daddy issues. Maybe they have mommy issues too, but when dad hates them, boy, oh, we all pay. But we know that some sons might be doing this with dad, but this is the kind of stuff that women tend to take on because that's how we're conditioned under patriarchy. Pew Research says that dads, shocker, are more likely than moms to say that they communicate with their kids less often than they'd like. And many young adults feel the same desire to connect more with their fathers. And yet, this article was written to the kids, not to the dads, to the kids. I know a lot of people who my dad would always be like, oh, it's so good to see you. He wanted to hang out with me all the time, but then he wouldn't talk to me. He would just watch TV. I'm like, why am I here? And then most of my life I've lived away from Nashville and he never called. If I wanted to talk to my dad, I had to call him. He never called. If y'all want to talk to your kids, call them. It's not that hard. So instead of talking to experts about what dads can do, maybe because they're being realistic here and know the dads won't even bother. This is what they suggest. Meet him where he is, literally. So if he's in front of the TV, as if we haven't already been doing this our whole childhood. I guess we watch football still. 40 years later, this is how I connect with you, is watch TV with you. Watch TV. Some dads are doers and they like to keep their hands busy. And then look at this story. These doer dads, is it really because they're doers? Or is it because they don't really want to bother carving out time to hang out with you? You have to go watch them fix up a Mustang in order to get them to be in the same room with you. Whether that he's underneath the Mustang and you're alongside him or on his canoe doing what he loves, because he will never go to the mall or, I don't know what more feminine women do. But, I love it when I see dads letting their daughters paint their fingernails and all that stuff. But does that continue on through teenage years? Or is that just when they're really young and cute? And then once they're older, you really just can't relate to them. And so you drag them where you're going. Oh, let's hang out. Go watch my football team. So this person, her dad owned a trucking company. So she joined him on weekends as he was washing and fixing up 18-wheeler. You know that man had time off, okay? If she wasn't there, he would probably watch TV or do something else. So a lot of dads will do this. They'll just be like, oh, I gotta fix up the thing, baby, come on with me. And you are just an accessory. You're not the point. When I grew up, I felt like I was doing time, not spending, I felt like he was doing time, like this thing he had to do, rather than spending time. And that is very common. He may have been asking me to hand him tools, but we were really talking about school, or he's giving me advice. Now, I love that. I love that they're actually talking. But I'd argue that that's not necessarily what's always happening out there. Unless the woman is carrying the child, because the women carry the conversation, but so do the daughters at all ages. So, Dad, That's why I'm telling you, if you're on a dating app and this man is making you carry the conversation, this is who you're getting. You're going to be doing all that emotional labor. Stop talking to them. They're too lazy to even text you and ask you questions. It doesn't get better. So at least this dad was asking about stuff, giving advice. But I bet you he still didn't know what school she went to or the name of her teachers. Think about what your dad is currently into and meet him there. Because damn it, it's always got to be on his terms. I think dads are most comfortable in whatever their element is. There will be a conversation you can have and he won't even really know it. Oh, we don't want daddy to be uncomfortable. Poor daddy. Oh my God, y'all see? Ugh. Sit next to him, not in front of him. Eye contact can make him feel like it's an interview and we don't want to upset daddy. Remember I did a whole series about the game Don't Wake Daddy? The terrifying game that's literally about children being so afraid of their dad who is eating in bed and just being, he's probably drunk. And it's like, don't wake daddy. And then if you wake him up, everything goes out. It's a terrifying game for children. That's how normalized this is. This is don't make daddy uncomfortable by looking at him in the eye. Sit next to him. Now look, I wrote the article, Men Have No Friends and Women Bear the Burden. I addressed this in that, of why men do not even have relationships with other men because they do it side by side. That's fine. I actually get that. I love having conversations not facing each other. There's also neurodivergency issues. I actually think I can have some of the best conversations, not right in front, but they're framing this like, hey kids, don't make eye contact with him. He's going to think you're interviewing him like you're a cop. Make daddy comfortable. Look, this is so ridiculous. Why is the child having to isn't the parent supposed to be teaching us this? I'm so tired of the media literally parentifying us. Invite him to an event like a baseball game, which calls for you both of you to look straight forward. You know what? Don't invite him. Invite him to a drag show and invite him to a ballet. Why don't you invite him to something that you like, whatever that is? This idea that everything is about their comfort. And that literally is what patriarchy is about. And that's what white supremacy is about. White people's comfort. But patriarchy is all about men's comfort. And especially like white powerful men, but just men. Focus on the story, not the feelings. No feelings. Don't talk about those things. They make him uncomfortable. No feelings talk with daddy. Nostalgia is a silent dad's best friend. Open a conversation by asking him to share one of the simplest stories he likes to tell again and again that you've already heard so much that you could recite it yourself. Ask him to tell that dumb story that sucks again. Why not? You got nothing better to do. But this time, ask for more details about a story you don't care about. Pretend you care. Ask for a question. This is so much labor. Rose Hackman's book, Emotional Labor. Please read that book. I didn't understand how much labor women do until I read that book. The feelings, those little feelings, they're within the story itself. So even though your dad may not realize he's sharing certain emotions, you'll be able to notice and appreciate them. See how you can manipulate men into talking about feelings without having to say the word feelings? This is literally an article about how to manipulate men. As if we don't already know all this. What my problem is, I'm tired. This is work. Manipulating men, tricking men into talking to you, even though they are literally your father, is work. Is it worth it to you? Is your time worth it? If this man did not do much, how worth it? Remember what I said in the beginning. This is all contextual about you and your dad. But this is a lot. Dads love to say, oh, it was 1962. Who wrote this? The person who wrote this has a very poor idea of dads. Now, I know I talk a lot of crap about dads, but you know the reason why I actually realized that so many dads do suck is because I continue to meet dads who don't. And I'm like, oh, wow, it's like they're capable of doing this stuff. They just don't want to or refuse to. It's all like, oh, you tell all these dumb facts and then but there's another story. My dad doesn't actually share anything personal. But if you actually listen to the story, you'll see dad sharing about when he was worried. He had a feeling called fear. Or when he was overwhelmed or excited. He may not be able to label these feelings as silly little boys who are grown adults. But by sharing facts, they're letting you know what mattered to them. And what matters to them is not you. Can we please stop infantilizing men? God, these low expectations of men, even though this is how they are. The way we baby them, y'all, it is so ridiculous. Here's a suggestion. Why don't you say, you know what, Dad, I would love to know more about your life. Like, I swear, like this like kid gloves approach is infuriating. Ugh. Try a different type of communication. This dude's dad didn't often tell his son he loved them, though he did. More than life itself, yeah, I bet. His own father never said I love you, so he showed his love to me by providing, protect. Oh, here we go. I bet. And anytime I see a man say provide and protect, I just assume he's been red pilled. And doing everything socially acceptable meant. Oh, okay. Let's read through the lines here, y'all. This is fascinating. I didn't catch this before. He was providing and protecting and doing everything a societally acceptable man is supposed to do. Let's translate that. He worked, so he had a job. Okay, great. He protected by not beating the crap out of you, I'm guessing, or letting someone else beat the crap out of you, although he may have actually tortured you with moods and just neglect. And then he did everything the only thing he did was the things that men are socially, so no cooking, no cleaning, no emotional labor, no planning of holiday events, didn't know, this means he did nothing other than work and was a coward because he never challenged the status quo around what is socially acceptable for men to do. I know I'm being very hard on this and I am sound very extreme. This right here says so much. Just tell me that the mom did literally everything but provide and protect whatever that hell that's supposed to mean without saying those words. Oh my God, this guy wrote a book, Teaching My Father How to Love. You know what though? I give this guy credit. He's trying. Sounds like he's maybe more, if he's not red pill, more emotionally, at least knows that there's something missing. And he's, we all, the adult children end up parenting our parents. But something so basic, like literally talking to you instead of treating you like they hate you. I don't want to have to teach that. If you're struggling to communicate face-to-face, consider other ways to connect. You could write a letter. They'll never write you back, but why not? Or get in the habit of exchanging emails on the weekends or a text first thing in the morning. God, this is so much work. You are probably a very creative person. You could use that creativity for, I don't know, writing an article, working on a novel, painting, all kinds of stuff that's not going to leave you disappointed and feeling like you're self-abandoning, chasing after a man who doesn't really care. And then realizing, is that why all the guys I date don't care? And I have to chase after them. Anyway, developing a more communicative relationship is a process rather than a destination. So don't ever think you're really going to get much. Just be grateful the dude will even read your dumb letter. Or open that dumb email. He's not even going to respond. But if he reads it, be grateful that, it's not about the destination. It's not going to be a one and done. Yeah, we know. That's why we don't want to do it. It's a lot of work. Lead with humor. Okay. Talk about weighty topics, important things that are really, really have huge stakes. Dads don't like that. It makes them uncomfortable. Don't make daddy uncomfortable. Don't wake emotional daddy. Diffuse that intensity with humor. Y'all, do you ever wonder why I became a comedian? We have been using these tactics since we were children. This is so condescending, this article. Y'all don't think the kids have thought about this? That all the years they've been living in a home with a man who doesn't talk to you. You don't think that becoming a little clown was one of their approaches to try to get dad to love them? Diffuse the intensity with humor. Intensity of what? Talking? God! Share your favorite joke. Yeah, my jokes are usually making fun of men though. Show him a funny video on your phone. Or introduce him to the latest meat. You think he cares about that? Okay. Oh my God. I tell people, your dad isn't cracking. Try some humor. That's my secret weapon. Wisecracking helps ease the mood and facilitate conversation and connection. God, this is so much work though. I'm already a comedian who doesn't get paid enough. Why do I have to do a one-woman show to get this man to talk to me? So he can feel comfortable, because serious conversations, eye contact, and talking in any place other than his garage or his little kingdom makes Daddy uncomfortable. If the front door isn't working, get him to open up, try a window, try the garage. You know? Kool-Aid Man, just burst the door open. He'll never love you and care about you if you don't do all this work. Force that man to love you, or at least pretend like it. And finally, ask for help. Since men have been taught under patriarchy that their worth is entirely tied to how useful they can be and not, anything valuable other than that, then put that man to work. Silent dads are sometimes more comfortable focusing on their expertise than their vulnerabilities. Yeah, no shit. Next time you crave a conversation, ask for help. Be a damsel in distress instead of firing off your dumb questions that might make him uncomfortable, like, "Hey, Dad, how was your day? Did it..." Then listen closely to what he says. It might be revealing something. Nancy Drew, Sherlock Holmes. You're a detective on the case. Is there something I can learn about this man who doesn't care about me? I just want to learn something about this man who doesn't care. What are we looking for? What is Nancy Drew looking for here? Revealing what? That he has a heart? That he's not totally dead inside? Imagine you're asking your dad whether or not he thinks you should buy a house that you just toured, for example. Even if you didn't have a house and don't have the money for a house and never buying a house because look what the boomers left us. It's okay. Lie. Pretend like you want to buy a house just to get the man to spend time with you. As he's working through the pros and cons, you can hear that he wants you to be secure. He wants you to be safe. But forget about secure attachments or emotionally secure. He's like, "Oh, a bitch needs a home? Okay." You can then ask an open-ended follow-up. What was the interest rate of that first house? Of your first house, Dad? This is my idea of torture. No, thank you. I'm not doing all this. And I hope you don't either. This is just manipulating men. I'm tired of them teaching women to manipulate their husbands into loving them because it doesn't work. Manipulating their own fathers into love. No, I'm done. I'm not saying that you can't make effort, but all this, no thanks. As if we have not figured all this out. Who do they think they're talking to? Duh! Well, unless this is written for men. This may be helpful to men who haven't figured this out, who aren't having to survive men the way that women are. But, no thanks. Oh, wait, there's more. Oh, my bad. Open up first. Be vulnerable. So then you can really feel the smack when he says, "Oh, that sucks," and doesn't talk to you. Like, don't be vulnerable if you do not feel safe with this person. Forget what Brene Brown said, okay? There is a limit to your vulnerability. And a lot of times doing this by being like, "Hey, oh my God, let me tell you this thing." And he's like, "What?" It hurts so much more when you are vulnerable with somebody who has a clear pattern of not caring. It hurts so much worse when you do this and you don't get what you were hoping for. It hurts so much worse. But sometimes it's very revealing. And then you're like, okay, I should stop trying. If you want your dad to go deeper, show him it's safe. What? Safe? For who? You're the child. He's supposed to make you feel safe. Fork, y'all. This is such a ridiculous article. She's found that since becoming a parent herself, she and her father can relate in new ways. So she makes it a point to tell him about her struggle with mother. Now, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, of course, you can bond with your parents over parenting, but not with a dad who wasn't there. It'd be like my dad, when he saw my brother-in-law changing a diaper of my niece, he was like, "Look at you." And the girls were, when they ever crapped in their diapers, I just let it ride till their mom came home. So that's his way of bonding, is being like, "I can't believe you're dumb enough to actually change diaper." I didn't have to do anything because I just pretended like I didn't notice. But no, it opens up the door for him to be able to share and say, "You know what? I didn't always have it together when your mom and I were raising you. In fact, I was never there. I couldn't stand the much or y'all." If you want transparency, try to be transparent. Okay. And remember, change won't happen overnight. Since you probably are so dumb you've never figured that out either. If you have a silent dad, it can help to think of your relationship like tending to a garden. Because remember, you're raising him. He's not raising you. You got to prepare the soil, put the seeds in, water it, wait for it to grow. That's a lot of work. No thanks. And you can't force it. You can never force men to do what they don't want to do. Do not reverse grape culture, okay? No feeling entitled to anything. No forcing anyone to do what they don't want to do. So you lay the groundwork and then continue to come back and keep gently prodding. Blech. This is so gross. This is so gross. This article is so much worse. Like, I just skimmed over. I did not realize it's that bad. This is so gross. Just gently prod him, you know. Don't wake upset daddy. Oh my God. If any men follow me, this is what, do you see how ridiculous this is? Do you see how long? This is where we're at. Take charge. Do something. God. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Oh my God, this was so much worse than I thought. And also, please follow my Patreon. I'm going to be in the U.S. for almost a month pretty soon. And I'm going to be sharing most of my U.S. kind of stuff over there because I'm a more private person now because the internet's crazy. And also it just helps me do my work because algorithms are not a reliable employer. Like, comment, share, hit this. They also have a free level on Patreon just so you can keep up with me. And like when I post and just like announcements every once in a while. I have watch parties, lives. There's a whole playlist of like a dozen hours of like longer. Lots of lives over there. Incredible people. Journalists, comedians, all kinds of people. Yeah, we have fun over there. And let me know if you heard the comment sound. Oh, and also one last thing. I talk about the delusional influencer on here, Tammy, and she's really helped me unpack a lot of this stuff around whiteness. And she just wrote and just came out with a book around empathy that addresses racism. And like, it's really especially for white people, but there's whatever. It's helpful for anybody. But if you have been following me for a while and want to unpack this stuff, this book, I'm going to get my copy. She already has it for me. I'm going to pick it up when I go to the U.S. I'm going to be citing it a lot. So go ahead and order your copy. I will link it in the caption. And let me know if you heard the comment song. Going to French class, comment song, walking up these crazy stairs, going to French class, comment song. Look at this, I'm getting dizzy. Going to French class, comment song. Guess what? I'm not going back till September. Going to French class, comment song. I'm waiting for my test results for the big exam. People getting them back this week, so I'll find out any day if I pass the test. And then just another test. Maybe I passed that one, if not this one. Summer class, not summer class, French class. Going to comment song. Look at this stuff. Wow. Ooh. And now I'm coming back down the stairs. French class, comment song. Hold on, look at this. Hold on, look at this. Wow, going to French class, comment song. Like, what the hell, this is coming home from French class. Cute stores everywhere. It's lunchtime and teenagers are out and they're all smoking cigarettes and being really loud up there. Comment song, but teenagers, good for them. I wouldn't relive that part of my life if you paid me. Going to French class, comment song. And now it's over, comment song, French class, comment song. Join my Patreon if you want to follow us to the US for a month. Bye.